Hi, I'm Cherylin, and today we're going to be replacing the support rollers in a Whirlpool electric dryer. You'll need to replace the support rollers if your dryer drum is not rotating properly or making loud banging noises. This repair should take about a half an hour. For this repair, we're just going to need a couple tools. Phillips head screwdriver, stiff putty knife, 5/16 nut driver, and possibly a flathead screwdriver. I would also recommend a set of work gloves, just so we can make sure our hands stay safe while we're making the repair. If you don't already have a set of support rollers, they're available for purchase on our website. Before repairing any appliance, always make sure it is completely disconnected from its power source. To start the repair, we're going to need to remove the lint screen and remove the 2 screws at the top of the lint chute. Make sure to catch them before they fall down the lint chute. Now what we need to do is flip up the top of the machine. In order to do that, we need to unlock the 2 locking mechanisms about 1 inch in on either side with our stiff putty knife. Make sure the blade of the putty knife is above the 2 tabs. Push in till it unlocks and then push up. Do the same to the other side. Now that we're going to start working inside the dryer, I would recommend putting on that pair of gloves. There are a lot of sharp edges inside the machine, so we just want to make sure our hands stay protected. Then we can lift the top of the machine up, lean it against the wall. If you don't have a wall to lean against, you can create a suspension system. There are 2 holes here and here. If you have any wire or string, you can create that suspension system and keep that tension off the wires. Next, we need to disconnect the door switch. So we'll take our putty knife, release the lock tabs on either side of the door switch, so we can pull it apart. Now we're going to remove the front panel. In order to do that, we need our 5/16 nut driver in order to remove the 2 screws on the front inside of the dryer. Now we're going to remove the front of the dryer. Just be aware that the drum of the dryer will tip out once the front is removed. It's okay, you can leave it, it's not going to fall out. So what we're going to need to do is lift up on the front and back out to get off the latches on the bottom of the dryer. And then you can set it off to the side. To get the drum out, we need to release the tension on the belt, so we're going to be working down here in the motor pulley system. To release the tension on the belt, you need to support the drum. You can use your shoulder for that. Then you need to push the idler pulley to the right. This will loosen up tension on the belt. And you can take the belt right off the motor. This will release the drum and the belt and the idler pulley. You can take the idler pulley right out. Now you can remove the drum by lifting up on the belt and sliding forward and put it out of the way. So here we have our support rollers. We'll start with the lower one. With the 5/16 nut driver, remove the nut on the bottom. Now we can remove the spring clip and the bracket. Just wiggle them off. I'm just going to take off my gloves to get a better grip on the parts here. We need to remove this triangle clip. These are on pretty snug, so you may want to use that flathead screwdriver to help pry it off. The roller will come right off. Be sure to also replace the back triangular clip. Now you can open your new support roller kit. It does come with 2 rollers, so always make sure to replace both rollers at the same time. Replace the back triangular clip. You may need to push it back if it gets caught at the first groove. Get your new roller. It doesn't matter which way you put it on, it'll work either way. Replace the second triangular clip. And replace the support bracket. Finally, push on that spring clip. Now that that one's done, you can do the same exact process to the second wheel. And when you're done with that, you can put your gloves back on and we can reassemble the machine. Replace the drum, felt side back. Set the drum on the support rollers. Make sure that the felt isn't folded in anywhere. And usually the drum will have markings from the belt. Try and line up the belt with those markings.
In order to reinstall the pulley system, you're probably going to want to take off your gloves just because this requires a little bit of precision. You're going to need to support the drum again. Make sure it's lined up with the back and on the support rollers. You're going to take your idler pulley, slide it into the slots it came out of. You take the belt, wrap it around the pulley, push a loop through the bottom of the pulley, push the pulley to the right, wrap the belt right around the motor. Like that. Push the drum against the back of the dryer, give it a little spin to make sure everything's lined up.
Now we can replace the front panel. Make sure to have your 5/16 nut driver and nuts handy because we're going to be screwing them in as soon as we get the front panel on. Now this can get a little bit tricky. You have to push the drum back. At the same time, you're lifting the front panel onto the hooks at the bottom. Sometimes it takes a little bit of wiggling. There we go. Now we can take our nut driver and screw in the nuts. Reconnect the door switch. And we can close the lid. Rescrew in the screws. No gloves needed. And replace the lint screen. Now, wasn't that easy? Here's a quick recap. All of our OEM parts and tools are available for purchase on our website. Check them out along with our social media sites here.